And welcome back to the atmospheric cafeteria and coffee scrying. We're having a great day. Cleaned my whole house. It felt good. For any of you ADHDers out there, I know you know the feeling. And it does get better with age. It's how you train yourself in what you can do. And by that, I don't mean the toxic positivity of you can do it. I mean the you can mop the floor, but you can't dust. I'm good with that. You can sweep, but you don't dust. That's okay. You don't mop and you don't dust, but you are sweeping and your dishes are done and your rooms are tidy. Yeah, that can be a once-a-year project. No one's going to throw any salt on that, and anybody that does needs to take a good long look in the mirror. Alrighty. Whew, that was a vent from somewhere now, wasn't it? So, there's new coffee chocolate that I made with Ghirardelli chocolate. Do you see this? It smells like brownie batter, and the cocoa for it smells like brownies. I'm just saying, people. So the protocol to use this is different because it's like kind of like not going anywhere. Seems to be a special talent of mine when I cook. Mashed potatoes, instant mashed potatoes actually, and mac and cheese back in the day before I could actually appropriately make it. I have a dear, lovely, wonderful friend who taught me the right way to make mac and cheese. But this stuff, I think I'm going to probably have 2 weeks or 3 weeks because this you don't need a lot of, like literally. Because if you put too much in, it just tastes like a brownie. Now, if you like that, go with it. You do you, boo-boo. You know? Measure those chocolate chips and those brownies with your heart because I'm burning in there. But it can be a very overwhelming taste. So, and it wasn't really even very sweet. It just was very cloying. I'm going to heat this up a minute. I actually think I want a little bit more. Not much though. Oh wow. That is super, super potent. Woofty. I'm gonna set my spoon down over here. So I'm just gonna give that a wee bit of a heat up. Because it's really thick. I need to change my recipe with that cocoa, which is not a terrible thing. Just remember when you're heating up anything chocolate, it will burn quickly. Will burn quickly. This is nice and melty, a little bit warm. Perfecto. Take a look at that. Sometimes I just like to swirl it around my cup. Just because it makes me happy. And tactilely, it just, you know. Maybe one of these days if I have tea, I'll do a tea reading. My great-grandmother used to do tea readings. I Sierra like Yetis. Don't think it has anything to do with anything, actually. I think that's just whatever. Yetis. Ready for the biddies, ready for the biddies. Okay. So, might need a little extra cream. Because this cocoa changes the coffee. Which is actually very interesting. You know, recipes always, you know, depending on your ingredients, change stuff, you know. I mean, we all love vanilla, but let's face it, Madagascar vanilla is very different than other vanilla. And not only that, it depends on what you're putting that vanilla in. So if you're putting it in bourbon, you're going to have a bourbon flavor. If it's vodka, you're going to have a vanilla, you know. It's going to have a bourbon vanilla flavor or a vodka vanilla flavor, or, of course, usually vodka is fairly innocuous. This is a bigger cup, so I just put more in. That's fine. I don't don't have to explain it, but for those who need to know, putting my sugar away. Oh, and let's get the zhit. So yeah, I got some chocolate over there to clean up. Hi, puppy doggy. Ernesto Diego. Ernesto Diego. También. Hi. Hi, Meal. Hello, baby. We'll clean up our messes as we go because I saw it there and I cleaned it up, which means that I won't have to clean it later. And that fills my dopamine. Having done that just now fills a dopamine receptor. For anybody who really needs to know, that just filled a dopamine receptor. That means that later on when I see this, I'm going to remember I cleaned that up. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to wonder what that is on the towel. Then I'm going to remember and be proud of myself that I cleaned it up. Oh, you just got to keep filling those receptors. And that takes time to learn. And I'm not even going to pretend it doesn't because it really and truly does. So let's see what we got. This makes it super dark. Oh shoot, I forgot my glasses. It's okay, I'll be fine. We got some wishes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Constellations. Ooh, I gotta see the Big Dipper. Ooh, yes. Orion's making an appearance. Loverly, Loverlies. I feel like Sagittarius is in there somewhere. I've got to look up my constellations and get reacquainted. A lot of them. Mix our chocolate and our sugar in a little bit. This is true. I could wander into the bathroom and grab the glasses in there. I did put a circle around the kitchen and the bathroom, didn't I? See, people, be prepared because you never know when you might have to go, and then you have to break the circle of the kitchen that you're in, and then we'll just look at it. I'm just being proactive and a little bit, Okay, I'm gonna go do that. Spirit's like, go get your glasses. And I'm like, fine. So I got them. All right, now I'm prepared. More prepared than usual. Ha ha ha. All right. Makes it really, really dark too, and I love that. Oh, that's nice to scry in. You guys have your knitting and your crochet with you, your projects, your thing that you're doing, your video games. What are we playing this week? Anything good? Oh, seems to be stillness. Lots of souls. Lots of souls. Not a bad thing. So, let's dump a little bit in. This puppy's dark. Jeez. Let's see what we got. Ooh, wow. I'm not even gonna go wash those yet. I'm just gonna let them sit there. Wow, wow, wow. Lots of crackling, lots of wishes. I mean, there were so many souls in there to begin with. I see a dragon and I see the moon. A lot of times when I see dragons, it's because there's a battle going on. And when I saw all the souls, I was thinking the souls in the world. And when I saw all the wishes, I was thinking Ukraine. Slava Ukraine. And we love Palestine in this house too. And we love the Jews. We love everybody in this house. And those were all the wishes. All the souls. And these are the giant wishes. I'm going to actually take a picture of this. The crackling. Yeah. And not only is there a dragon, but it looks like there's a human. Let me look at this picture here. It's like there's a human with an arm up brandishing a sword down. Fight. We will fight and we will bring our dragons into battle. Slava Ukraine, I hear. We will bring our dragons into battle and we will fight the good fight. Lots of dragons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moons. 5.5 moons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's either 5.5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Because that looks like a little moon. Six is balance. And 6.5 is the halfway point between balance and spiritual growth. Wish them balance, I hear. Wish them balance. Wish them balance in their fight. Because all the dragons are on their side and the dragons are going to bring them balance. Only time will tell if there is victory. That is not something that can be predicted. It can be wondered about, prayed for, hoped for. But right now they're telling me we cannot predict that. That is not predictable in this point in time. I see a woman here, a chin, and I see her in like a 19th century clothing with her hair up in like a Gibson, or maybe even like a hat that reminds me kind of like a daffodil. If you wore a daffodil as a hat, kind of like the brim is frilly. Looking up at these moons. Now I'm saying they're moons, but something says that they could also be something else. So if you are in an area where there is war, I would definitely move. This could be incoming. What I'm seeing, they might not just be moons, they might just be incoming. Now, when I say 5.5 or 6, that could be 5.5 or 6 moon cycles. That could be 6.5 moon cycles. 5 full moons and a half moon. Keep they're saying keep notice of that. However, whatever that means to you, keep notice of that. Keep notice of the moons and the cycles of the moons and the settings of the sun, so that you know what time of day it is just by looking outside. Because in general, that's a good thing to know. Spirit, can you tell me about this woman? There's this little girl. I see a little girl in her hand. It comes up as if to ask for a wish. What do we think her wish would be? I see letters. I see an H, an R, a K, an E, a C, and a P, and a Y, and a Z, I, or GRZI, AZAX. I see a mustache. Soul just came in. KKHUI. Some of the way that they look seems to be have that Slavic kind of Polish Ukrainian put together. I love how they spell words. I like how the Z's are a vowel. I believe, if I'm wrong, let me know, but I believe they are. I see hands. I see hands lifting a child up. And it can be towards the moon, but it can also be towards a light. Like if there was, you know what? It actually looks like, at first I thought like a well, hands lifting them up so they could get out of the hole in the well. But now it also, it looks like this child is looking through, or this person is being held up to look through like a telescope or something where they can see further out. Some sort of telescoping thing. And here it looks big, like it reminds me of the big ones from the astronomers, from the astronomy, the planetariums. But it looks like they're being lifted up and looking out. And then looking back at people. I see like an interesting looking penguin, duck, Mickey Mouse thingy. A little ear, like a little penguin with a little nose that comes down, little feet. But there's a little thing here where it could also be like a little odd-shaped mouse. This might also be a sign that they may move children along in a train to get them to safety. So if you are a country that borders, just be prepared for children just being, what I'm seeing is children being lifted over a fence, like a barbed wire fence, and being handed to people on the other side to safety. And then the parents are going back to fight. Now, I'm saying this, okay, hold everything. I'm saying this, but I'm now looking at my kitchen countertop and, oh, wow, didn't even think to look down there to scry. Well, it's not like I can't scry in it. Yeah, it's just what I see. There's a beaver. But that looks like, the leader of Russia. And that looks like a beaver dam. That looks like a beaver building a dam. And my vision was and that looks like the Statue of Liberty. And that's Canada. Whoa. We done just took a turn. China. So, when I said that children were going to be given across a barbed wire fence, at first I thought it was Ukraine going towards Europe, which I wouldn't be terribly shocked about. But what I really think it's going to be, and I could be very wrong on this, is Russian people handing their children over to Ukrainians to get them out of Russia. Because right here I see an old representation of like either a Chinese or I'm going to say Japanese woman, but I'm going with Chinese, taking with her baby, walking down the mountains. No way you can see that. Right here. Right here. The head, the old-fashioned, the hair, the baby, a little baby bow, and then this would be, almost reminds me of geisha, but I know in China, I'm confused at, I cannot remember what country, what is from what country at this point in time, and I'm kindly correct me, but this just to me says China and then walking down the mountains. This looks like a beaver. This looks like the Statue of Liberty. And this looks like Putin's head with an odd Wild West mustache. Like he's Wyatt Earp or something. So what I am actually thinking is yeah, She's walking to a man who's going to take her baby and bring her baby to safety, and then she has to go back. Because you've got to remember, Russia borders China. And Russia's not that far away from... Hi, beautiful. Oh, yeah, there's our Oscarino. And Russia's really not that far from the United States when you think of Alaska, and then Canada's there. Okay? You know what? Let me go get some cards. Wasn't what I was thinking. Although, yeah, I know. Which cards are coming out? Who would like to say a name? Yeah, this was not the reading I thought we were going for. I thought we were doing a simple coffee scry. But we are doing a scry, aren't we? So, hi, honey. Hi, beautiful. Oscarino. Oscarino. Here, hold on. Let me move that for you, Bambini. Yeah, put that over there. That way you have a nice little place where you can see it. And you can help me. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Ooh. It's like something was just caught in my throat. I have to burp it out. So I'm going to take that to mean, because, you know, it's one thing when when your throat gets blocked and you can't speak up. It's another thing when you can't get the burp up and you have to burp it out, which can mean it's one thing to see the problem and be able to go to be Ukraine and go, oh, fuck no, we're not doing that. It's another thing to be Russia and you have to burp it out. You have to let it burp out. You have to let it come out like an explosion. Like it has to be like it has to be the lava that erupts out and moves the stone that is in its way. And when that happens, that and that alone is when Russia will be handing their children to Ukraine to raise. And China will be meeting people to hand their children over to bring them to safety. And it may even, that mother may even be going with her child to safety because of this. Okay, so are we saying, all right, gotcha. Okay, so we're going to just do this, they're saying. All right, so we're going to predict a war. And it's going to be a revolt in Russia. It's going to start in Russia and it's going to peter over into China. And it's going to start by Ukraine. Because they already know they want to fight there. They don't want to be there. They want to fight. But they don't want to fight for Russia. They want to fight for Ukraine already. Because they know. They're just sitting there and they're waiting for their lava to kick in and go up and walk across lines. You know, that's how the original war, whatever the original war was settled, because war isn't won. No one wins a war. A war is settled. A war is settled because one person goes to the other person and says, I don't want to fight anymore. I want to go see my kids. I want to make love to my wife. I don't want to shoot people anymore. The ground is already bloodied and soaked to the point that nothing can grow here ever again. And that creates the dark spot. That creates the dark spot. And it's only when both sides decide to come together and realize this isn't worth it. I can live without this. I can see you on the street and agree and just not agree to disagree, but to say, I'm going to shake your hand and our kids are going to get together this afternoon at 7, right? Is your daughter staying at my house this weekend for the slumber party? Yeah, okay, you got my kid next week? Gotcha. And then those two kids get married. And now your father's-in-law together, and you have to deal with this because you don't want to go to war anymore because it hurts, they say. It hurts. It hurts. And they're tired, and they're showing it here of explosions. The explosions. See all the little ones up there? The wishes that they would stop. The things that it brings in. And the small animals that it kills. I'm being told that's a vision you can't get out of your head. When you're walking around and you just see small helpless animals dead because of this bullshit. That's coming to me from a Vietnam vet. He said it's bullshit. It's such fucking goddamn bullshit to walk around and see that fucking goddamn shit. It's so fucking goddamn stupid. He's so fucking angry. It almost reminds me of my Uncle Tommy, but I don't necessarily think it's Uncle Tommy. He's like, this is so stupid. He's like, I thought you people would have had this settled by now. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it. Your feelings are valid, sir. I'm not gonna... But they see it too. They see it. And then there's something there about the Bering Strait as well. Not that that's showing its face. Oh, wow, I'm a little rough. I apologize, everyone. Whew. Not that that's coming in, not that that's coming up anytime soon, but there may be, because Russia is so close to Alaska, there may be ships coming. People will immigrate through Alaska to either Canada or the United States. They're telling me from Russia and China. Okay. Listen, sometimes things have to be said. I see. I'm unsure of which Egyptian god this is with the wings and the bird's head and the black headpiece. I'm gonna have to look that up. If anybody knows, let me know. I haven't been having quite a bit come through lately. I'm quite the ascending chakra right now. But we're all ascending. We're all leveling up, ascending, and coming through. You have to remember when the United States starts to act like China and Russia. It makes those people realize, because they already know that the United States, Canada, England, Mexico, they know the places that are freedom. They understand very well what is and isn't freedom as a collective of people, as a collective of consciousness. Hi, love. And as a collective consciousness, they also understand what's going on right now. And it's seeing that destruction that's going to tip them. I keep seeing the Ten of Swords in my book. Hold on. Let me get my book. The Ten of Swords is an Inuit. Let me see. Nope. Let me look in the index, maybe. No. I'm going to look it up because I keep seeing it in my head. The Ten of Swords. You know, a lot of, as I always say, a lot of, got the Lovers on the bottom. The Lovers, the hope between Beauty and the Beast, between the good and the bad, the ugly and the sorrow. I'm going to take a sip of this they're asking me to do. Ooh, we were not expecting this. We're 37 minutes in. So there may be a part 2 to this. I always say there may be, but then there's not. I think our coffee growers and our sugar growers and our farmers and our cows and all of our bugs and our bees and everything that makes our cups of coffee possible. I thank and appreciate everyone. God bless and peace. Lots of galaxies. Oh. Tasty, subtle chocolate hint of brownie. Ooh, thick richness, loveliness. Let me bring this over there so nothing breaks. And I promise ADHDers, the first time you think that and you do it, and then your hand goes this way and nothing breaks, you're going to get the best dopamine burst because you listen to yourself. When we start listening to ourselves, it gives us an amazing dopamine burst. And then we feel guilty every single time we don't then listen to ourselves. All right. So let me shuffle these just a minute. You know, the funny part is some things I get the book and I didn't get the book. Some things I get some cards earlier and I didn't get any cards. I didn't get anything because I wasn't expecting it. And isn't this what it's about? It's about sometimes you don't expect things. And something says I expect no traitors. Wow, it's a powerful energy. I expect no traitors, they say. Expect no traitors, she says. Whatever you see nothing. If you see somebody leaving, you see nothing. If you see this video and you're on the opposite side and you understand what's happening, you see nothing. Because you know the crowd is going to win and they'll take you down, 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 down to the ground. Down to the ground. Woo, motherfucker. Woo, what the fuck is with that? Hey, hi. Yeah, they're like not joking. They're like, whoever you are that's watching this, don't be a traitor. You're the Ten of Swords. You're the traitor. Traitor, traitor, oven baker. Baker, faker, oven baker. Traitor, traitor. Do not be the man. Three of Cups upside down. Do not be the man that Hannibal Lecter wants to bring to dinner. And for those that don't get that, spoilers, it comes from the second book. Actually, no, it doesn't. No. The first book, Red Dragon, where we find out the only reason why Hannibal Lecter kills people is because they're awful, horrible human beings. Here we are. This is the Ten of Swords in my deck. This is an old Inuit story. And this keeps coming in my head. And I feel it's really, really important right now to say, to talk about. Yes, ma'am. Don't ask me why I didn't just look it up in here. Okay. Sedna, Canada. This story comes from Canada, and it's Inuit mythology. And I myself, as indigenous Mexican to the Southwest, I don't know about my other indigenous cousins, but I always feel very solid and footed in the ground. And often when I see things like Maori traditions and Aboriginal traditions and Native American traditions and First Nations traditions, it feels very like I'm going to my cousin's house and I'm seeing the stuff I do, but the way that they do it and in their manner, I feel like we're all connected as one, and it's like I always feel their energies. Always. Matter of fact, I have a very beautiful bracelet that was given to me by my mom. And it was given to her by a lovely woman who's Native American. She's the loveliest woman. Just bring it down. I actually need to give it to someone because I don't have any children to leave it down. Page 91. 9 and 1 is 10. And what is 10? The personified one. New beginnings, new hopes. See, for me, with the swords, for me, the Suit of Swords always starts at the end. A lot of suits of tarot, they start at the beginning at the ace, and then they go up so that you go into being your king and your queen. For me, it's you were already at your king, your queen, your king, your queen, your knight, and your page. You slowly fell down. You were in your king and queen radiance, and you fell down into the Jack and the Page, and then into your Ten of Swords. Because after Ten of Swords is Nine of Swords, where you have to sit in your sorrow. And then after Nine of Swords is Eight of Swords, where you're sitting in the cave to reflect on it, to figure out how to get out of the path. You see what I'm saying here? So you're actually going down until you get to the one sword, which is you. So this is telling me that there is going to be pestilence. A lot of blood and a lot of bath and a lot of war. I'm going to take a quick drink. And yes, my tattoo says rat in Chinese, and it is a rat because I am here for rat. Okay. So the story of Sedna comes to us from Canada, and it is Inuit mythology. There once was a beautiful woman named Sedna, who lived in the far northern snows. There came a time when Sedna was old enough that her family wished for her to be married. But Sedna did not want to get married. She found fault with every one of her suitors and threatened to marry a sled dog instead. God, the energy is big here. The father was furious with her. So when a handsome and mysterious hunter appeared in their village asking to marry Sedna, he readily agreed. The unknown hunter promised to give the family plenty of meat and furs in exchange for her hand, and Sedna decided to consent. After they married, he took her away to his island. Once there, he revealed to her that he was not a man at all, but a bird that had been disguised as a man. Sedna was livid with this deception and even angrier because, as a bird, he was not a very good hunter. He caught and fed her only fish, so she had no meat or furs, but she was stuck on the island, and she tried to make the best of it. Finally, Sedna's father came to visit and instantly saw how miserable Sedna was. He also realized that the mysterious man had been a liar. He killed the bird, put Sedna in his kayak, and started for home. But the bird's family, upon finding him slain, screeched in anger. They set out to avenge him, beating their wings so hard they started a storm. The tiny kayak was soon overwhelmed, and Sedna's father, desperate to appease the birds and save himself, threw Sedna overboard. Sedna quickly grabbed onto the side of the boat and would not let go, so her father drew his knife and sliced off her fingers. Sedna raged as she sank to the bottom of the sea, and she became a wrathful sea goddess. Her fingers became seals and whales, and her hair grew to entangle all the sea creatures of the world. Now, if people want to hunt in the ocean, they must appease Sedna and pray for her to release the sea creatures from her grasp. When validation feels weird. And what have we been talking about? Countries giving away their children. And we know their children are not going to want to go. I'm going to close this. And we know their children are not going to want to go. We know for a fact they're not going to want to go. They never want to go. Let's look at World War II. Let's look at the children separated from their parents back then. And they had to be. They had to go to the countryside for safety. If you haven't seen Bed, Knives, and Broomsticks, you should. That's a real-time example of what was going on. You know, you've got to realize a lot of our movies are actually quite educational. But right now we're just vomiting out the old same shill because it's nostalgia. But go back pre-2010, pre-2005 and see. Watch the movie Gotcha. You know, I had mentioned about Hannibal Lecter, and I've got the Chariot here and the Three of Cups upright. And they're telling me I've explained what I saw, and I've read the story, and everybody should be able to pretty much connect the dots. Canada and America will form a strong union. I also see Mexico down there, and Mexico's going to take time, and I can't blame them. I can't blame them. America kind of took half of Mexico, majority of Mexico away from it. confirmation tick. It's this betrayal, they say. This betrayal. And it's not like this hasn't been, like, if you've taken Russian history like I have, and I have to always remember not a lot of people have. Not a lot of people have taken Russian history. But if you've taken Russian history, then you know that there's always been an issue. And they're telling me it's just time. Because one of the things I keep hearing is out of all the world leaders who might not be a narcissist, President Xi might be that. And I say this because he's in between Russia and he's in between North Korea. You know, it's like being the kid that recognizes that this parent is abusive and this parent is abusive. And my brothers and sisters are all messed up because of this abuse. But I'm recognizing this and I need to kind of like act accordingly so that I can get out of this alive. That's what it feels like. It feels like that mentality. But it's also a mentality that he can choose to change and fix. The problem is, once he does that, Russia will attack. And this might be a point where yeah, they're not going to let that happen. I know they're not. I know they're not. I know. They already told their own country, hey, we're not doing that bullshit no more. I think, what was it, Vietnam or Korea? Said no coup to you, Mufu. Motherfuckers. Excuse my language. But that's what I'm being told. They're like, y'all got to really, really take this notice now. What else do you guys want to tell me about this situation? Yeah. The first, what I saw was this. So all of you out there, to all my Roman Catholics out there, can you please start doing some rosaries? Even if all you can do is say a Hail Mary at the end of your day, or you're in the middle of your day and you think about it, say a Hail Mary. The Blessed Mother is asking for that. The Blessed Mother is asking for those prayers so that we can entangle the beast and help bring ourselves back home and turn ourselves away. Turn ourselves away from this kind of behavior, she says. Yeah, because we got to stop being so afraid of our own shadows. Because at the end of the day, she says, we're all a farm. We're all a community. We are all hunter-gatherers. And we are all one that with the land, right? So she says, pray for the land and pray for the people. You pray in whatever religion you are, she says. It doesn't matter. All prayers are heard, no matter what religion you are. All prayers are heard because they go to the same source. And the reason why there are so many religions, I have been told before, and she says right now, is because we all understand things in different ways. And we all have different ways in which we like to follow the source. So whether you call it one name or another name or the flying spaghetti monster, it's all the same source, although they say that the flying spaghetti is not. But hey, you know what? You probably could make them into source if you really wanted to. You just have to be a good, decent human being and understand the fodder in it, they say. The fodder. Fodder. Hello, mother. Hello, fodder. Yeah, because we got to be of two minds. I mean, we're always going to be separate, but we have to be of two of minds. We can't stay the Two of Wands forever. Two of Wands. I'm also thinking of the Two of Swords. Yeah. Wow, this is just like everything underneath is taking action to the point of the phoenix. I heard me and oof. So yeah, right here we have the Blessed Mother as the Empress, the Nine of Coins, with a watermelon. What did I say? We are lovers of Palestine. Okay. Yep. She says, we are all of the land. You know, we are the growers. We grow. And we take care of the animals. But sometimes we get too much. And that's not okay. We have to stop being two-faced. We have to stop not seeing each other as humans, because that's leading us up here to these swords. It's making us feral, and we're not launching the way that we need to, and that's not an okay thing. So Justice flipped over and then flipped back while I was asking what we could do to solve this. So it's going to be one of those things where you have to see it and not turn around. You can't see the injustice and turn around. You can't see it. See, these cards keep trying to turn around and they're not. You can't see the injustice and not, put it to justice. I just burped. If you see something, say something. If you see a need, fill a need. It's not what you hear and see. It's what you say and you do. So basically, they're saying if you see the injustice happening, you might not be able to be somebody that can go and get murdered right now. But if you watch and you say something to someone else who can help, and you guys can go and do whatever, and it's, help where you can. Not everybody can go out and fight. Some people have to be the brains. Some people have to have the brawn. Some people have to have the house and the cellar and the understanding of how to construct things. Everybody has their piece. Everybody is a grower. Everybody does the animals things. There are even flowers here. These are vegetables. These are animals. And the animals feed us as well as take care of this land. So, well, this was a fun coffee scry. Yes. Okay. You have one more card for me, Spirit? Okay, that's too many cards. This seems to be representing the Earth and the Moon. The husband and the wife. The seed and the soil. All right, so what I'm going to do is this. So what I have represented here is the Earth in the daytime. Okay? The earth in the daytime. We have the earth mother, we have the sun, and she helps to grow, and she helps to plant the food, and she helps to take care of the animals and the environment, and she helps to grow the children because she is the birth giver. And this is the emperor. He is the seed giver. He brings the happiness to these unions. It's a mirror reflection. He is what allows people to have wishes. He is the dragon. He is the dragon. And she is the Two of Swords. Wow. Wow. Jesus. Okay. So we've had a discussion about Ukraine. We've had a discussion about why war ends. Now we're going to have this little discussion about the earth and the moon, the mother and the father. We are going into not, everything is always with me non-binary, but there are times when we are talking about the birds and the bees, and by that I don't mean sex, I mean the pollinators. I mean the life givers. And that can be anyone. You can be trans and be a life giver. You can be trans and have a baby. It does happen all the time. I know people. So what this is showing me is the following. You have the Empress and the Emperor, and they always mirror each other. The Earth and the Moon. The Empress gives us our food, which help in the Emperor, the Father, gives us celebration. And the two of these together, they complement and work together well for each other. And that's what they have to do, because they have to constantly be mirror imaging. If you have this page of coins, this wealth of knowledge, who's taking care of the animals and the land just the same way that he is, this is going to mirror, and you're going to have all of these different things that you can pick from. All of these different choices of life where you can carry on. And when it gets down to it, and the mother and the father, the Emperor and the Empress get angry, they turn into the King of Cups and the Two of Swords. They turn into the dragon, and they turn into the mother with her two swords, who can see even though she is blinded. She sees, because we all know mom has eyes in the back of her head. She sees everything. Our mom, they see everything, don't they? And our father is the dragon. And when you put them together, you have the mother and the father. Do you see how she can sit in his flames? And she's not getting burnt. And what was it I said about war? You have to choose to lay it down. And then what happens? Someone's kids get together and they make this. Because they have strength. This is strength. When you can stand in the fire with your swords and not burn, and befriend the dragon, and he knows he can blow as much heat at you, and you can take it because your swords will absorb it. That's a mirror. That's a mirror of reflection. And they're saying that's what we have to be. This is what you are supposed to be in a marriage that is successful. In a relationship, it doesn't have to be marriage that is successful. Because at the end of the day, what ends up happening is you end up with the Four of Wands. You end up tempering each other. No matter what is thrown at you, you can grab it out of the sky because you know how to deal with the fire. You know, this bird, which will eventually turn into a phoenix, they've got the fire, but she can handle the fire, and he's a dragon, so he's not terribly worried because they will bring in judgment. Excuse me. They will together review their sorrows, and they will review all of these sorrows, and together, the two of them back here will remember. They will remember, even when there's only one of them left, they will remember because their memories will be there. And that's what allows them to go into the Fool. And the Fool, okay? The Fool is what happens when you stop worrying. You fall into the Fool. You agree that you're not going to fight. And you realize that you have to... It's not agree to disagree. There's no agreeing to disagree. Because at one point, one side was right and one side was wrong. What it comes down to is I don't know what the reason was anymore, and we don't want to do this anymore. I want to go make love to my wife, and I want to see my kids. And I'm tired of walking around in dirt that's soggy with blood rather than water because it doesn't rain here anymore. They always tell me that's how the dark place was made. After a time of war, where both sides decided to go home, and that choosing to change brought a light around. The light in the dark. And isn't that what this is? The dragon is always in a dark cave, and the Two of Swords is in her flames, coming in to enlighten. And she's coming in to help him make the choices. And the mother and the father together. And he comes in. And look at this, there's even water down there. I mean, and that's true because the moon does control the tides of the water. I mean, it all... If you want peace, this is how it's done. It's like there's almost no more to say. It's like, and this is that explanation. The Blessed Mother would like everyone to pray. And you don't have to pray to her. Pray to whoever you pray to. Because both the mother and the father will hear it. If you have separate prayers for the mother and the father, say the separate prayers for the mother and the father. Because, yeah, that's true too, Spirit. Even transgender, even if you're gay, you still always have... There's still always a two-parent dynamic, and that's what you say, mother, father, when really it can be mom, dad, they, them. Oma and Oompa, whatever you want. They always tell me it's all one, but every once in a while, when we talk about this, we have to talk about the seed and the soil. And that's all that it means, is the seed and the soil. We got a couple minutes left. Is there anything else you want to say to... the Hierophant? Lay in and study. Look at your world history books. Lay down your swords. seek for help. Yeah. Go for help as you need it. Go to the strong ones that you need. Remember, Ten of coins. Because if you don't lock yourself in the Hierophant, you're not going to be able to get the rest you need to get the help you need to get the Ten of Coins. Because that's where we all need to be right now. We need to lay our wands down. We need to lay our swords down. We need to lay everything down and leave it to fresher teammates. And not even leave it to fresher teammates. We don't need to leave it to fresher teammates. We need to not send in any more teammates. And we need to go home. They say, go home. But that's what the people fighting want, isn't it? That's what this is about. This is at the beginning, what did we have in the cup? We had all the little souls, and then we had all the great wishes. So I am going to say this is probably coming from the consciousness of everyone fighting, from Ukraine to Palestine to China to Russia. Even the United States and Canada, but they're more represented as allies at this point in time. Mind you, I'm not talking about right now in this moment. We're talking out a ways. Because you have to get into the Hierophant in order for this to take effect, they say. You, as your personal individual, need to sit in the Hierophant. And two, make sure that what you're doing is just. Make sure that what you're doing isn't going, don't get so heady and high on the unicorn that you forget it has an actual horn and it's not a horse. You don't want to get stabbed by a unicorn horn. It's instant death from what I understand. But we started out with all the souls, all the consciousness. Jesus Christ. And here they are again. There's a ton of them in there. I thought they were I thought that they were, it was the universe. It's not. It's a collective fighting. So this is coming from a collective of people who are fighting. And the funny part is we started out, well, I also have the Knight of Coins here. And I like this. Can't remember what they're called, but I love them, and it brings strength. So this is all bringing strength to that. They, in unity and as a collective, are bringing strength to each other because none of them want this anymore. They all want this, which was the first card that was on the bottom when I picked up my deck before I shuffled. The Lovers. And what is the Lovers but Beauty and the Beast? Beauty and the Beast, two different people that had to learn how to get used to each other, who had to learn how to grow, who had to learn how to love, who had to learn about who each other was. Was one a beast? Yes. Was one not a beast? Yes. But did they both have potential to be beast and not be beast? Yes. And this is where I'm going to leave you, they say, because when all of this is said and done, you end up with the Lovers. The Lovers is the mother and the father. It is the seed in the soil. The seed in the soil. Bread basket. It's the goddamn bread basket. Jesus, Christmas Eve. And before we leave, this is what we're going to do. You say your prayer. I'm going to say my prayer. I'm going to say it out loud. Say it out loud with me if you want to. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thine womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Dear Blessed Mother, please, 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 please bless the people of Ukraine, the people of Palestine, the innocent people in Russia and China who do not want this life. Please help them to stand up and see. Please help them stand up to see the seed in the soil. And please back them and help them fight and help move them forward in a way that will be helpful and productive in this world. Please help their spirits to be high. And please, Blessed Mother. And please, dear Source Universe, help keep them safe. Help guide them all into victory. Because I don't believe that there are people in Russia that want that war. I don't believe that there are people in Israel that want that war with Palestine. And I don't believe that there are people in China that want any war, period. But then do any of us? No. And what happened? We had a disagreement once. Because someone didn't want to do something. And someone found a lie. And then they fought. And they forgot how to love. And this is where I'm going to leave you, because this is what's most important, they say, is to remember how to love. And love with genuineness, and not love for greed or for want. Because if you don't get something in return, that's okay. Because it will come back to you eventually. As long as you weren't doing it to get something. Yeah, they really hate that doing something to get something thing. It really drives them crazy. Anyway, I love you all. Be good, behave, be happy, and be yourselves. Good night. God bless you. I love you. And I'll see you later. Bye.